Hello and welcome to another review from Colour with Claire. Today I'm reviewing the Forest Girls colouring book by Korean illustrator Aeppol. Now this book first started out as a series of blog posts whereby Aeppol would upload a new painting every so often that took us through days in the life of this forest girl. Now this has been converted into line art for us to colour, but there is also another book that is the full colour illustrations only, so don't get mixed up when you're purchasing. I will link both in the description, but do make sure that if you want the colouring book, you're getting this one. So the book itself is quite small in size. We are looking at 25 centimetres by 19 approximately, so nice compact size for you to maybe take away on holiday with you. It's not going to take up too much room. It is quite thick though, we've got 128 pages, so lots and lots of content. Now the front of the book, the cover is quite dappled and a sort of matte textured feel. And if you can see at the top here, the English translation of Forest Girls colouring book is actually done in silver foil. So really nice presentation. We open the book and straight away we've got the French flaps that fold out, which is actually my favourite type of cover. I don't like dust jackets that slide around and come off as you're colouring, so yeah, love that French flap. Now the first 2 pages of the book are actually added extras. These are patterned papers that you could use as backers for card making. You could wrap little gifts with them, you could do anything you want. And they're just sort of little extras that have been added in. You can take them out, do whatever you want with them, and they match the theme of the book. There's also another 2 of these at the back of the book, so you've got 4 pages in total that you can use for any of your crafting or anything you want really. So we've got the title page, and as you can see, everything's in Korean. But translated, it's just telling us about that we're going to follow this story of the forest girl. Now, part 1, we're split into 3 parts. Part 1 is the girl in the forest. And here we do have an English translation that says, "Come and visit the girl who lives in a house in a remote green forest. Happy stories and laughter release me from all that I hate and all that make me gloomy. They clear the dark clouds in my heart, leaving a rainbow instead." So really nice sort of romantic, quite lyrical language, as usually translations from Korean and Japanese usually are. Now, here is the standard format of the colouring book. On the left-hand side, you will have the original full colour artwork in this small thumbnail size. It's also got the Korean and the English title of the page. So this particular one is called The Sound of the Forest, and it was done in 2017. And then on the facing page we have the line art of that. So it's really unusual to actually get colour in a colouring book, and it often bumps up the price exponentially. And as you can see here, on every single page we have got coloured artwork. So it's really nice to have this sort of extra bit of quality added. It's nice to see a bit of colour in a colouring book, and also we have this thumbnail as a reference if we want to. So you can colour this in whatever colours you like, or you can try and emulate the original painting with your colours. It's totally up to you, but I think that's a really nice touch. So as we go through the book, you'll see that the artwork is very nice and sketchy. And if you can see here, the one that I've coloured, I've actually tried to emulate that slightly. I used Prismacolor pencils, so I think my greens were maybe a little bit too bright and vivid, but as for everything else, I'm quite happy with how that turned out really. Now, as I was saying, the artwork is quite sketchy, and the lines aren't actually black. They're more sort of a dull greyish brown, very reminiscent of the romantic country books. And I think this actually makes a really nice change from black line art, because it's not so bold and in your face. So when you colour it in, the colours sort of take over the picture rather than the lines. So the paper itself is nice and thick. Obviously, with this being sort of one-sided, it doesn't really matter what you use, but just note that you will be ruining the image on the back, the coloured image, if you do use anything like alcohol markers. So as for the actual content, these illustrations are incredibly whimsical, very sweet, very magical, and nice and relaxed and calming. Now you can see here that the little dog actually features in most, if not all, of the illustrations. So it's following this little forest girl and her dog, and also her squirrel as well. and just really sweet, very whimsical, very natural. And if you like this kind of charming illustration, you'll absolutely love this book. Now this is part 2, which is titled A Day Spent at Home. It says, it's okay to get some rest when you're tired. You don't need to do anything special. Isn't simply relaxing at home another way to spend a comfortable and happy day? And I could not agree more. That is my absolute favourite thing to do, is stay at home. Kind of boring, but hey, love it. So as you can see, we've got this one here, Can't Get Out of Bed, which is me every single morning. We've got the little forest girl doing some sewing. She's brushing her teeth. So we've got lots of different settings to colour as well. We've got Aeppol knitting. We've got little night visitors. So we've got lots of little fairies with their wings pulling everything around the room, and the forest girl's just looking on. So some of them are a little bit more set in realism, and some of them are a bit more what do you call that word where animals sort of behave like humans? I do know the word, I'll put it up on the screen. But I know what I mean. So yeah, very, very magical. We've got Aeppol here reading and taking a nap. Not Aeppol, the forest girl. Sharing equally, so making some food, taking a little reading break. One rainy day, a beautiful big window, quite reminiscent of Darius Song's illustrations. You could do some lovely outdoor sky with that. Lots, big pile of books here that the forest girl is sat on. Another day spent at home, relaxing. We've even got a Christmas party. We've got a bear, we've got the dog, another little bear. Lots of guests around the table. We've got the winter story, In the Hope of Your Warm, Sweet Dreams. So this is really cute. We've got the forest girl and a little snowman all snuggled up in bed. And the third and final part of the book is called The Season of Blooming. Each flower blooms in different seasons. Every flower takes its turn when its name is called in its own season. Don't worry, you'll bloom soon too. How sweet are these little captions? So I'm guessing that we're going to have some flowers more sort of predominantly in this part, although not so far. We've got the little forest girl making jam sandwiches. And here we go with the outside of her home and this lovely winding path that takes you up there. We've got a glass jar that holds a tree where the little girl is sat on a swing. Beautiful, beautiful, whimsical illustrations, absolutely gorgeous. Just amazing original ideas as well that you haven't seen before. So looking into a fish bowl, that would be a brilliant underwater scene. Baking cookies. We've got the dog, which is now giant-sized, and she's sitting up against it, nice and comfortable. Warm knit turtleneck sweater. So it quite reminds me of those Danish hygge books, which is sort of the Danish word or phrase for comfort and warmth and coziness. It does remind me of that kind of illustration. So if you want something that's going to really cheer you up, relax you, beautiful, beautiful illustrations, this book is incredible. So we're coming toward the end now of the illustrations, but as you can see, incredible amount of content. And then we've got those 2 pages again of the construction paper and the final French flap. So this is the back of the book with the blurb all in Korean. So yes, the paper itself, nice and thick. It's quite smooth, but it does take coloured pencils well, as you saw in my illustration. There's not too much tooth there, so you wouldn't be able to layer a lot. So markers would work just as well as pencils, I think. Now, what would you expect to pay for this Korean colouring book? We all know that Japanese, Korean, foreign colouring books are often very, very expensive. But this one in particular, because of it having the colour print inside, and also the amount of content, the amount of beautiful pictures that are inside, I would expect to be paying quite a lot more than the £15 that this is actually selling for. So £15, $20, I think it's a really, really decent price for this book. I'd be happy to pay that. Now, you can get this from Etsy. I will link the store in the description below where you can get it from. It's called 70 East Books, and the lady that runs it, June, is actually from Korea. She ships these directly from the source, so you're getting the genuine Korean colouring book all the way from Korea, and she's absolutely wonderful to work with. She will help you out with any books you're looking for, and she also wraps it in a beautiful handmade cotton protective cloth as well, every single book she sends. So brilliant colouring book. There's nothing bad I can say about this whatsoever. I absolutely love it, and I'm hoping that Aeppol will bring out future colouring books as well. So again, look in the description for the links to buy. Leave me a comment if you like this book. Let me know what you think of it. Don't forget to click the thumbs up, the most important thing, and also subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon on Colour with Claire.